This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Pierre Novellie. You can text the show on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio. Sorry, I was just looking at a hot dog on the television. Email the show via frank@absoluteradio.co.uk. And yes, they are paid to laugh, if you're wondering. So, good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Tomorrow.
It's kind of rainy, ain't it? So, here we are. I'll tell you what I saw this week. Here's a thing. Here is a funny thing.
Yeah.
I saw a man capering on his own in, like, sports gear.
I don't know what that means.
Capering is a bit like what Dorothy does in...
I beg your pardon.
In Wizard of Oz, you know, that sort of... Do you remember when you were a child and if, you know, those moments... If you ever felt jubilant as a child, they call it skipping, but there's no rope.
Yes.
No rope involved.
Isn't that just skipping? I'm not familiar with this.
No
capering.
rope involved is one of the coloured handkerchief signals I use at the S&M Club.
I've always called it skipping, but you know, I'm going to change that to
Well,
capering.
if that's skipping, how can, with the rope thing, be skipping as well? It doesn't make any sense. That's like saying his eating is the same as driving.
Okay. We've all had a drink.
Okay. I have, but not since September the 24th, 1986. Nevertheless. So has that become... Is that a fitness thing now? Anyone out there, 81215, capering or skipping, solves rope, brackets... Is that because it was a guy, he didn't look troubled, he was in sports gear.
Dressed for skipping?
Yeah, dressed for, you know, like he might be running. Maybe he runs later and warms up with some
capering.
Some capering, yeah. What I'll do is I'll caper for 10 and then I'll do like 5k, a bit more caper, I'll caper down at the end.
I think that would suit you, Frank.
Caper, no, I was a bit embarrassed on his behalf.
Were you?
I
I'm saying something.
I remember kissing a lady many years ago and she capered in excitement just around me.
Did she?
Yeah. I don't know if it was ironic or not, but it started charming and then it was, we will never be a long-term relationship. About third circuit.
I was going to say, that's a short shelf life.
Yes, no more capering. That was what I thought about it. Anyway, I've never told that story to anyone before.
Is that
You know what? It's good to get it off my chest.
Absolute Radio exclusive.
Exactly. Yeah, I love this.
What a bizarre exclusive.
God, the papers will be full of this. Post-kiss capering, rocks 3 Lions star.
Do you think there's lots of sort of jubilant expressions that could become like a fitness thing? 10 minutes capering, 5 minutes jig.
Punch in the air, maybe.
Punching the air.
I suppose they do punch in the air. That's basically what sparring is.
Yeah, 7 minutes clod hopping.
What's clod hopping?
It's bad dancing.
Oh, okay.
It's from, it used to be illegal to beg. And so you had to do something for your money. So they would just do a bad dance and be, I'm not begging, I'm dancing, and people are paying me for my lovely dance.
Is that
who knew
right?
that?
Yeah,
That's
a sort of stomping dance that a tramp would do, clod hopping. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to see more of that. So I could double money if you prefer to clod hop. No, is that bad? I'll take that back. What are ski sticks? I see a lot of old people with ski sticks on the Hampstead Heath. What's that doing?
I've seen those.
Are they worried about flooding?
They're
so they
cropping
can
up.
get home. Get home like the invading crafts in War of the Worlds. Just hoisted up. What are they for? Wildlife.
If anyone listening uses those, what the hell are you doing?
Sometimes you see them.
I've seen those a lot.
Sometimes you see them like 7 or 8 squirrels on each point. No, I've never seen that. Anyone who capers for a fitness thing, let me know. And if anyone uses ski sticks, why?
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
610 In his interview with Louis Theroux, Stormzy did a form of capering to warm up.
Did he?
Yes, he does do capering, Stormzy. And even as part of his live performance.
He capered. Oh, it's Hero capers a bit. Michael McIntyre capers.
Yes.
Doesn't he caper on?
Yeah. And sometimes, in jubilation mid-show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he capers off. You don't want to slink off after you've capered on.
438, Dear Frank. I love Dear Frank. I use ski sticks to walk every Saturday morning. It's called Nordic walking and is an all-over fitness workout. It originated in Norway to keep muscles fit for cross-country skiing when there was no snow in the warmer months. That's Ali in Sutton, but works at the Norwegian school in London.
Oh.
Didn't know there was a Norwegian school in London.
Well,
I know how they get there in the morning. Get their ski poles out.
there aren't many Pierre Novellie sentences that begin I didn't know.
I hope they all arrive with their ski poles. I hope that's how they get in.
A brutal school if you want a day off for snow.
Oh, God, no chance.
No.
No. They're
None of the
strong,
Norwegians.
very. But the buffets there'll be. A Norwegian hotel buffets, honestly. Heaven.
I really like Norwegian.
You don't?
No, I really do.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we've sorted that out. No, won't be any complaints about derogatory remarks about Norwegians.
No, it's because my mother told me I had to go there. When I was very young, she said they're the best looking men in the world.
Did she say that?
Yeah.
I was going to go there, but I couldn't afford it. Da, 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 da. So,
Sorry, Pierre.
I went to...
Chivalry all over again.
Oh, don't.
Chivalry. The joke that continues to torture me. I went to a wonderful place on Saturday. I went to London Comic Con.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever felt... my brother-in-law said to me, you look really happy. He says, you're with your people, aren't you? And I really felt that. I really like people who like comics and superhero movies and the like. Even manga, which I don't really know about. Loads of people had dressed up. It was brilliant. I saw 3 Moon Knights. Right? 3. But 2 of them, I saw a Moon Knight coming towards me, and I'd just passed one. And I watched, and as the Moon Knights passed me, do you know Moon Knight?
No, I was looking at you pretending I did, but to be completely frank, I have no idea what
he
Moon Knight
features in a new Disney Plus series. He's a comic character of some. Wears white. Not white.
Is there any other characteristics, or just the wearing of white?
The name's a pun, I think, because the bloke's called something Knight.
Okay.
I haven't seen the series myself yet, but I shall.
Is it a benign figure?
Well, I think it's 18, the series.
He's quite crazy in the comics. He's quite violent.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, as one passed the other, there was a slight acknowledgement I noticed, which I loved. All right. All right.
Very collegiate Moon Knights.
It reminded me, as I used to have the original Beetle, Volkswagen Beetle.
Yes.
And if I ever passed another one, it used to be a little wave, sometimes a little on the horn.
Yes, I had that with my classic Mini. Little smile,
Isn't it
little
nice?
crosstown wave. It was like, yeah, we're in the club.
Isn't it nice? Or sometimes if I met a fellow alcoholic on the night bus.
I mean, that's less now.
What is today? Look, about that for the texting. What is the current slight acknowledgement thing? Who do you see that you say, all right, we know?
Yes.
I love it.
Oh, I like that.
There's a real sense. The whole thing, it's just a beautiful, unthreatening place. People who love this stuff. And they'd all gone to buy comics and get... I'm going to tell you straight out, I had my photo took with 3 doctors simultaneously.
Oh. All been there, dear.
I had a heart attack. And the press were on me like vultures.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
You intimated to me there'd been outside worldiness.
I did intimate that. We have been talking about, well, you were talking about the Moon Knights acknowledging each other
Yeah, it's lovely.
at Comic-Con. So some of our readers have been in touch with ways in which they acknowledge each other. According to Garp, has tweeted us to say, fellow Labrador walkers.
Oh, really?
Richie Rich, other Millwall fans, a visible badge on a cap or a top. 3 stages. 1, clock the badge. 2, knowing nod and a thin smile. 3, move on.
Now, that is to do, isn't it, with there's a sense amongst Millwall fans that they are, no one likes us, we don't care.
Yeah.
And I think that increases the camaraderie between them.
Joe Thomas, fellow bald men under 40. A gentle nod of compassion.
No way does he do that. No way. How would you know? You'd have to slightly point to the head.
The gentle nod of compassion I really like.
Also,
Yeah.
as you nod, you show your qualifications.
You do, that is true.
Yeah, very true.
I always do. That's the trouble with these clown trousers.
Well, if you
Anyway.
ever walk down the street and Prince Edward, for example, has smiled at you, you know why.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm just saying. We've also got 814.
He still writes.
I drive an ex-Amazon van. I'm always getting waved and flashed by Amazon drivers.
Oh.
They're quite the friendly community.
Of course, I've seen that. If you're in like an Addison Lee car, you'll see another one goes. But since I always assume they know the person, not a general, we know about working for Addison Lee.
I like seeing the bus drivers acknowledge each other, particularly, when they pull up at lights and they take the window down and they'll have a little conversation.
That's nice.
Oh, yeah.
That
is
is
it nice, Ed?
I think that's nice,
Okay.
yeah. I was sitting there talking about us on the bus.
What do you mean?
Got a guy on here who, etc., etc.
Got a bad one.
Yeah.
I once had a terrible failure of trying to do some mutual acknowledgement where I was on the tube and I had gone to watch the Springboks play at Twickenham.
Right.
But I was going to a thing after the game, so I had gotten changed. I couldn't show up to this thing in a rugby top.
No.
So I had it in my bag. And on the tube there were a South African couple still wearing their uniform.
Yeah.
And so I said, I was at the game just now. My shirt's in my bag. And the guy just looked really upset and said, I said I had to take it off to my bag. And he said, why, were you ashamed?
Oh.
I was like, no, but I'm filled with regret now.
This wasn't when we weren't eating the fruit. It wasn't that period.
Oh, it wasn't that period.
I can see why that.
I'm too young for that, not to boast.
No, it's all right. I'm not blaming you.
Where's your gentle nod of compassion?
Yeah, this guy had a chance to gently nod, and he said something bizarre and emotive.
I don't get any nods of acknowledgement.
What about from other comics walking down the street?
I remember
They like
Helena
you.
Bonham Carter stopped me once and said, I think we're supposed to speak to each other, aren't we? Which I really liked.
I was going to say, there is the celebrity thing, isn't there, presumably, that you have the...
Oh, yeah.
If you don't know a celebrity, let's think of someone, Peter Jones from Dragon's Den.
Yes.
If you saw him in the street...
Yeah.
How would you behave? I'm Peter Jones walking along. I mean, the audience can't see this. And I look up. What do you do?
Yeah.
And I make eye contact.
I
think you'd smile.
I think I'd tell him about my floating ball with a bath plug connected to stop overflowing baths.
I wouldn't.
And then say, 20 quid? What do you think? Hardware store over there. Let's go in and see how much it's going to cost. No, I would say hello to him, yes. That's true. But, I mean, we can't really throw out, what celebrities do you say hello to as a general texting?
No.
I don't think.
I saw Will
Me and you can do it until the cows come home.
I saw Will Self in Paddington last night. And
Did you?
I sort of thought I'd love to go up to him and compliment him, but I don't think I have the vocabulary.
Oh, here we go. Old brains over here.
Yeah.
Your books are good.
Yeah. I wouldn't be 100% certain he'd be friendly either.
No,
I was
that's
just
right.
going to say, yeah, the reception could go one of two ways.
Yes. I think that's true. I mean, I don't want to do him down.
Can I just say 369 morning? I always acknowledge other staffy owners.
Oh,
Okay.
thank God he spelt that right.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
And a banana. Other parents of twins during the double buggy years, mutual nods of exhaustion. This is, by the way, people that acknowledge each other in public.
When me and my partner had a baby, we were part of what they call an NCT group, which is a fascist organisation run by hippies, which encourages women to breastfeed whether they can or not, and to have natural birth regardless of all issues. Nevertheless, it's a way of paying to make friends. And so we all had babies at the same time. We went out for our first outing.
I love that you go. It's a bit strange, isn't it? It's like, you've had a baby, we've had a baby, let's be friends.
We've all got a baby, yeah. So you're the only people who aren't bored by us talking about our baby. So we went out, there's about 8 of us, all took our babies to a pub, funnily enough. And as we were leaving, a woman was coming in with a twin thing, and we spontaneously applauded. It just seemed an impossible thing to do, to have, what, twice this? Impossible. So I can understand that acknowledgement.
778 motorcyclists always nod at each other. That's Pete from
Do
Suffolk.
they?
I can see that.
I'm going to look out for it. It's quite quick. You've got to get your nodding sharpish.
Yeah, nimble.
Blimey. Anyway, let me go back to the Comic-Con. So I saw some great... I saw there was a raw sash. You know, from Watchmen.
Oh, yes.
Some of you will know the raw satch test.
Well, I was thinking of the test.
Well, his name's after that. His mask has got one of those on it. So you fold a piece of paper and you open it up and say to the person, what does that look like?
Some people call it the ink blot test.
Do they? Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was invented by raw sash. Pierre.
Yes.
Okay. And... so he looked great, and I thought that's one of the few. There aren't that many for the older gentleman. The Comic-Con.
When you say he
costume.
looked great, so his face was an ink.
No, but he'd got
blot.
all the rest. He hadn't just got that and then trainers and a t-shirt.
I was going to say, what was the clothing?
He got the trench coat and the trilby and all that. He looked brilliant. I saw 2 examples of Team Rocket.
Ah.
Team Rocket, vegetarian superhero group. Not really.
I would have swallowed that.
Yes, they're from they're a sort of subsidiary of the Pokemon franchise.
Are they?
Anti-heroes with antagonists in the Pokemon world.
Are they human, Team Rocket? Yes, I think I've seen. That's not Ash, is it? No, that's not
Ash
right.
is. There was an Ash. There. I saw
I
an
got it
Ash.
right.
Yeah, there was. There is. He's one of the main Pokemon.
I thought he was rather handsome, actually.
I think he's 12 in the
dear.
cartoons.
Okay, I do apologise to everyone listening. I didn't know. That wasn't made clear to me.
You were thinking of Brock.
He looked about 40.
Team Rocket, a very handsome man, and a very attractive woman, and then a sort of a cat type creature.
Yes.
Which is
That's
beyond
like this studio.
Which is beyond definition.
Meowth.
Yeah. But it was great to see all that. And then I saw Freddie Mercury, and I just thought, well, that's someone who just got the outfit and thought, I mean, is that all right?
Was it a good one?
It was a good Freddie Mercury.
Okay.
Had they wandered off stars in their eyes?
I don't know. He did appear through dry ice.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
So, one of the reasons I was at Comic-Con was my brother-in-law was involved in a panel. You ever been to any panels? You know, when someone interviews the stars of a TV show or something of that nature. I get panel anxiety because they'll always have someone on who nobody wants to ask a question, and the interviewer often sort of skips past them a bit, and I start to get really, you know, I'm the one who, when they have Q&As at the end, I'd like to ask the assistant floor manager, when's the last time you fell over? Which is my standard question. If I can't think of any questions at all, I always ask people that.
Okay.
It's my chat-up line. I never had the chat-up line. But this was good. That the interviewer spread it around quite well. So that was all right. And then...
Careful.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean. And then I made a purchase. My son was with me, and he was there was a store which only sold Tamagotchis.
Oh.
Now, do you aware of Tamagotchi? A Tamagotchi, in case you don't know, is a Japanese sort of electronic pet. And there's one thing, if you mention the word Tamagotchi, there's one thing that people always say. Can you guess what that is?
I think we should ask Pierre because...
Go on, Pierre.
Oh, what do they always say? The little reset button at the back for when it inevitably dies.
Well, they always mention it dying.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that never... There's nothing else you get. You never say, oh, I've got myself a cavapoo. You know they die when they're about 12. But Tamagotchi... As you say, there's a little hole thing at the back. If they do, you just put a toothpick in and they spring back to life. I've seen it work with the elderly. But people always mention that, even to a small child. You know they die, don't you? Yeah, we all do, dear.
Well,
Anyway, what
you
I
got
needed...
married, you know they died.
Yeah, when I got back at home, because I never had a Tamagotchi. I was pre-Tamagotchi. I had a slate and chalk. And I thought, if only there was someone...
You had a grandmother, Frank, who remembered the teacher coming into the class saying, girls, I'm afraid there's been some very sad news. Queen Victoria has died.
Yeah, that was a shocker. Anyway, so what we needed was someone who knew about Tamagotchis. Anyway, the doorbell goes, it's Emily Dean, who took up the Tamagotchi reins. Fabulous. It had already done 2 poos, this thing. It'd only been on 10 minutes. I just we got on with dysentery. How did this happen? Is there a dysentery model? Anyway, it's you have to give it, but you were great, Em, I have to say. You really...
It was a lot of work. It did... I was saying... to Frank, it felt like looking after Elvis. All it wanted was food and, frankly...
Play with me.
Drugs.
And then, ask for medicine.
And medicine, it was
really?
requesting medicine every 5 seconds. I couldn't keep up with it. And I didn't feel it was responsible to keep giving it those dosages.
No.
It's a very strange thing to have in the house. It's very demanding. And I don't mean Emily, I mean the Tamagotchi.
I'll take that.
Yeah. And of course, the first thing my partner said was, well, you can't have it in your bedroom. But I mean, it needs, if it wakes in the night. Anyway, apparently not long to wait.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Pierre Novellie. You can text the show on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via frank@absoluteradio.co.uk. I wish that hot dog documentary would finish. My mouth salivating. I don't think I've ever seen a hot dog documentary.
I'd like to.
Yeah? Hot documentary, they'd call it, or something like that. That's the title.
John Hopkins has been in touch with us.
Hopkins.
Years ago, after my granddad died, we bought my nan a Tamagotchi.
Keep it light, John.
We bought my nan a Tamagotchi.
Oh, that's nice.
To keep her company during
you don't
the week.
associate them with nans, do you?
How dare you? I'm not quite a nan. John Hopkins continues, this seems like a heartless gesture now. When I asked how it was, she told me she'd had to use its batteries for her hearing aid because she couldn't watch Columbo.
Wow. Well, that's a woman with priorities.
Yeah. I like the idea of Columbo investigating the death of a Tamagotchi.
Oh, yeah.
One more thing. When it asked for medicine, did you...
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't like the icon.
My wife's a big fan.
I didn't like the icon for the medicine.
What
It was
is
a
it?
sort of needle, a very sinister-looking needle. I mean, I didn't know it was into these hard drugs.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to see that.
It really upset me, actually. I don't want to be dragged down.
No, I don't want hypodermics on a child's toy. Hypodermic yearning.
Hypodermic yearning. In terms of nodding at each other, Paul on Twitter's made me laugh with nods of acknowledgement. My wife as we pass each other on the stairs each morning.
Oh, that's fabulous.
We've got in further Tamagotchi news.
How are you with passing people on the stairs? You know that thing that if you cross on the stairs is bad luck? You okay with that?
It rarely happens. I've only got a dog at home.
I'm too wide. I just let them have the stairs and wait.
I was interviewing PJ Harvey this week, and I asked her if she was superstitious because her new poetry book, Orlam, has got a lot of superstition in it. And she said, no, I don't walk under ladders and stuff, you know. And I said, that's health and safety. I'm not counting that. And I said, I salute magpies. And she steadily sort of admitted that if she saw one magpie, she, under her breath, said, good morning, Mr. Magpie.
We've had that in from Grumpy Dad on Twitter. The noble magpie is always acknowledged, which sounds like a line from a haiku.
Oh, yeah.
Single magpie always gets a full salute. Sometimes I have to disguise the salute as a sort of brush of the hair.
Exactly me. If there's people around, I'll pretend I've got an itch over my right eyebrow and say, morning, Mr. Magpie, to the magpie.
See, I'm so impressed that you can recognise the magpie.
Oh, God.
Can you?
Yeah.
Are they just crow with white markings?
No, well, one of the great myths about the magpie is that it's black and white.
Is it not? What colour is it
Well,
then?
it has a beautiful flash of blue on it.
Does it?
Oh,
A sort of blue neck stripe
Is that
thing.
right?
yeah.
Or like
Who
on the
knew?
edge of the tail.
It sheens. It
Yes.
does. That's
So it's
what it
black
does.
and blue?
Well, it's black and white and blue.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out for it. Is it
Like a
what's its-
foul-mouthed Mother Superior.
What's its physique like? Is it sort of rotund like the pigeon?
No,
You know what I mean? Has it got a sort
that's
of
a beautiful bird.
Sleek, yeah.
What's the stomach like though? Has it got what I call the golden barrel?
Well, of course, it's attracted to gold, silver, and all the shiny things. That's one of its. I don't know. I don't want to give away anything.
Give away.
Well, it's in.
Spoiler alert, magpie.
Well, I'd say one of the great TV series of the last 20 years is Detectorists, and there's a magpie theme in that.
Okay. I will continue. I own a Faz. I remember being handed a Tamagotchi when meeting my stepdad at the school gates. I was absolutely ecstatic until he said your guinea pig has died, and I realised the Tamagotchi was a trauma buffer.
Okay.
Okay.
It's interesting that Tamagotchis are being given to the bereaved in these stories, whereas all anyone ever says about Tamagotchis is that they're mortal.
No wonder I got sent so many.
I'm surprised. Yeah. Oh gosh. I'm surprised it doesn't say on the box when it has like those flashes on the front. It just doesn't say mortal in a star.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Joanne Wood, ever since I've
Do you know Joanne Wood?
No, but thanks for the tip. Ever since I've had a runner's bum bag, first time marathoner,
Oh, okay.
I get nods from other runners. They take me seriously now.
Oh, see, I walk around often in a silver foil cape eating a Mars bar. And I get the odd nod from people as well.
I like Darren, 1908,
Oh, yeah.
who says, it's called Nordic walking, sir, and it's jolly good exercise.
Okay.
Oh,
It never really occurred to me.
Bonneville in Downton Abbey.
So I could build my upper body, which, let's face it, is derelict land indeed, by having two big sticks. Very good as well for you wouldn't be worried about muggers, would you?
No.
If you'd got two of those razor-sharp babies at your fingertips.
It'd be a sort of Three Musketeers scenario.
Yeah, I don't know if I've got the arm strength there to hoist one into the air when once pierced.
You could use the stick to lift the chin of an insolent boy.
That is good. Good. And I might get some litter on a day I'm feeling environmental.
Oh, I like good. Is that the follow-up to more?
Make 'em up, go.
We've had a lot of people getting in touch, really thrilled when they've come across Michael Morpurgo books now as a result of more. It's changed their view of him forever.
I hope they're singing it in...
Well, Gemma
the
Bell
bookshop.
said, I nearly spat out my tea yesterday when I noticed the author of the book my son was given for his birthday. And it's called Morpurgo the Puffin Keeper. Michael Morpurgo the Puffin Keeper. And she's just tweeted more in caps.
Oh, good. I'd like the idea of people... can I point out something I said this week?
Sure.
Which shows me to be something of a buffoon.
Really?
You know, when you meet, I'm always, I try to contribute in conversation. I'm always...
You certainly do.
I really try to make an effort. And I met Beth England, who is a footballer of some note, Chelsea and, ironically, England. And there was a
use of ironic, Lioness.
There was a Mike England who played for Wales, I don't know if you remember him. Anyway... So I met Beth England, quite exciting, England player. And I was asking her about, when I first became aware of women's football, Doncaster Bells were one of the big teams. And I said, don't really hear of them now. And she said, I used to play for Doncaster Bells. And I said, are you from up there? And she said, I'm from Barnsley. And I thought, I've got to have and I said, that is a weird coincidence. I had a Barnsley chop. For lunch.
You didn't say that.
That was my...
Frank, why did you say that?
What a small world, I said. What? And then after I thought, what am I talking about?
I think that's really weird, Frank.
I know, she must have thought, really?
Imagine what would be the equivalent if you said you're from Birmingham? If she'd have come up to you and said...
She said, yeah, we got pollution where we live. The way she looked at me, I don't know. I assume she knows what but maybe she doesn't know what a Barnsley chop is. Maybe in Barnsley it's not a thing. They just call it a chop.
It's just quite
a weird
Barnsley
thing. Chop. You're looking at me confused.
No, I don't.
I only know because he always goes on about Barnsley chop.
It's like a double. It looks like a game. Do you game at all?
Well, of course.
It looks like, if you can imagine a game controller, the handset made of meat.
I can.
Yeah,
keep talking.
That's what it looks like.
Lady Gaga.
If they ever bring out a game where the controller is made of meat,
they won't. Frank.
I'll be one of those people camping out, like for a royal wedding.
But exactly. But
before it goes on the turn, we've only got 3 days.
But honestly, what a small world! I had a Barnsley chop for lunch this morning.
Oh, Frank, I'm so embarrassed. Maybe you don't see her again. Imagine what she's telling people about you.
It's one of those things that when I look back on it, I can actually make my cheeks go a bit red just thinking about it. If it gets cold in here, I might be glad of that.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Oh, by the way, I need to tell you boys about my night out. It doesn't happen that often. And it did this week. Oh,
yes. I should say I didn't make the party of the year this year, the Jonathan Ross's party. I'll tell you something, though, in my house, is that the trick-or-treaters didn't use up the whole sweet bucket.
Uh-oh.
So the sweet bucket now is by the door. I have neither left nor entered the house without having a lolly, some Parma violets, refreshers. It's killing me.
Did you get a lot of custom on the night?
Oh yes.
Oh,
and
did
there's the polite ones who take one and then there's the handful children.
The grabbers. I don't like the grabbers.
No, I don't like the grabbers. But you did go to the party of the year.
I went to the Halloween party.
Oh.
How do you feel, by the way, Frank? I wanted to establish, how are you on Halloween? Just in terms of your belief in things.
Well, I'm okay with Halloween.
Okay, good.
The following day is All Saints' Day, so it's a holy day of obligation in the Catholic Church. So I like going to church when there's discarded sweets on the floor and stuff like that. And I don't have a problem with it at all.
Okay.
What I like about it is I think it's taken some of the shine off the 5th of November, which of course is a celebration of oppression.
Absolute Radio.
Yes.
A few words
You
on
asked. Well, you asked.
a few words on costumes. David Baddiel. Every year, this year he came in a red jumpsuit. Now, I may have got this wrong. I feel every year... Well, I don't know. This is the thing. Every year, I feel he comes in
To him, that is an exotic.
I feel, David, our dear friend, but he does come in some sort of jumpsuit every year. And I feel what it is that we've all just accepted it's a costume, when really it's just a vague gesture towards the concept of a costume. Is it a costume?
I have to defend him. He did come as Casper the Friendly Ghost.
But that was a white jumpsuit.
No, but he had the big white head with the giant forehead.
I adore the man.
Was that a mirror I saw?
What I want to know is, has he just got a rail, like a stylist's rail, with jumpsuits in every colour of the rainbow, that he just wheels out every year?
No, but when you said to him, what have you come as, what was the answer?
I didn't feel I could ask, because I feel he wears the jumpsuit with such confidence that I should know what it is.
I saw his post on Instagram. I know what he came as.
Okay.
He's one of the henchmen from Squid Game.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
He did have the mask on in one of the pictures, but he
I
clearly
thought that was a
abandoned
bowler hat. Oh, he had it on his head.
Yes, there you go.
He pushed it up like sunglasses.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen Squid Games.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Okay.
You have, I presume, Emily. It's your kind
I have,
of thing.
but I didn't go... I went as... Well, Frank, you know what I went as because you urged me to.
You went as Coraline, which I think is...
The other mother from Coraline, I went as.
The other mother. Yes, as they say in the hip-hop community.
Yeah.
But you look great. It's good to look glam and terrifying, I think, at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was... But then I found out she has button eyes.
Well, of course.
And I didn't want to have cosmetic surgery.
No.
Not for that, anyway.
No, I don't mind a popper. I don't mind poppers on the eyelids. Yeah, go on. Or press studs, as we used to call them. I'm going to have to go...
No, the producer's making us go.
The producer is being, borderline abusive. So let's go. We'll come back. We are coming back. We're not just going.
Frank Skinner.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
I should say, we were discussing the Halloween party. Did you see some of the costumes? There were some good ones
I saw
there.
yours because you sent it to me. Saying, isn't this brilliant?
Yeah, I did. I said, I look great.
You did look great.
Jonathan Ross, great costume.
Oh, that was a great costume.
Babadook. Are you familiar with the Babadook? I think he'd find that very scary.
Is he Babadook?
Yeah, he's Babadook. Frank won't watch that. He'll find that very...
I didn't recognise him as Babadook. I thought he was someone else.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
Babadook is a film. It's a sort of monster in the basement film.
Okay.
Yeah.
He wears a sort of...
Is the theme tune... Monster in the basement, I know.
No.
Okay.
He has a top hat and sort of grisly teeth.
I think I've got a T-shirt that says Monster in the Basement. From my super lad day.
The arrow's worn off a bit now, though, hasn't it?
It has.
I thought the arrow was a bit too much. There was a terrible incident, though, which I was responsible for.
Oh.
Okay.
I like it so far, this story.
Yeah.
In fact, you're thinking, more.
I am. Look at my
So...
I'm very tempted to do that.
Come on,
Let's see if I can find... I don't know if they move about, these things. I can never find the damn...
Okay. I'll set you up. Frank, how do you feel about
what
me
I like
telling
about
a
this
story?
is the way the producer has rushed to my aid. Oh, here she is.
I'm going to set you up, Frank. How do you feel about me telling a story in which I am the villain of the piece?
Hold it. Make 'em up, go, make 'em up, go. Make 'em up, go, make 'em up, go.
Oh, the remix. I love the remix.
I've never been into the second line before. It feels good.
Yeah.
It was so... Do you know, that took open courage.
Yeah.
You went then, I like that. Anyway, I'm at the party and I was hungry because I don't drink alcohol these days, so I need my food, Frank. You know the feeling. I was standing with Adam Kay, the comedian and author of This Is Going to Her, a friend of both of us. And Doctor. So many strings to his bow. We were both hungry.
And a top man, I might say.
Lovely man. Although, equally, similar to David Baddiel, a bit sketchy on the Halloween costume
You'd
front.
think he'd be all right. Scrubs at the fingertips. Most, I find, Halloween parties, I'd say 20% of the costumes are scrubs based.
Yes.
Bit of blood,
Yeah.
stethoscope, you're done.
Well, Adam Kay had a black shirt on and black trousers.
Okay. Well, did he go as an East European puppeteer? There isn't enough of that, I don't think. No. The producers had it. What's happened today? Tempest Fugit.
Frank Skinner. Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
I'll just finish telling you about the Halloween party, my incident.
Yes.
I was with Adam Kay, as we've established. He was wearing a black shirt, beautiful shirt and trousers. Just didn't know. Perhaps he'd had a mask with it, he'd abandoned. I don't know. But when I saw him, he just had a black shirt and black trousers on.
Okay.
As you said, a bit Eastern
You
European.
sure he wasn't catering there?
Well,
Yeah.
here's where the incident comes in.
Okay.
Because, Frank, I went over to get some food. They were distributing it, servers, but it wasn't getting to us. So I took matters into my own hands. And I said, I'm going to go over to the pass and collect the food myself and bring it over. Adam said, I'll come with you. Because Adam, you know, being a doctor type...
And you said, who said that? Because it was getting dark. He wasn't clearly visible.
Well, we grabbed a tray, and I love that about Adam. He's a very decisive type. He said, yes, let's do this.
If you're in the medical business, you can't
he's
faff.
fabulous.
You can't faff.
He doesn't faff.
Soul's faff.
He found a tray. We piled up the tray with food. We had hungry people back there. Must have been at least, I'd say, between 9 to 11 bowls. So let's call it 10.
It's quite a step, isn't it, to take over the job of the
Quite a
caterer.
tray.
We crammed on the
Big
tray.
tray.
We were carrying it over. I said, I'll take it. He said, no, very gentlemanly, I'll take it. Of course, back to your point, Frank, what Adam had failed to remember is that he was wearing a black shirt and black trousers and carrying a tray with 10 bowls on it. The first hand descended about half a second in.
Oh, of course.
I battered it off.
Right.
Another hand came, another hand. There were about 15 hands. People fell upon us. I said, no, stop, no, it's our food.
I can hear you. No!
I said, please, leave it, please. It's our food. We've queued. It's our food. These people would not... And also it was horror characters descending on the food. So it was not a great moment.
Oh, it sounds awful.
It was awful.
This is Sunak's Britain.
Blood-soaked zombies grabbing your crisps and food.
Desperate food.
Blood-soaked zombies were grabbing my pulled pork. And at one point...
Well,
Adam looked panicky. He realised, oh dear, what have I done?
Yeah.
I got so desperate at pushing the people away, they wouldn't listen. So for some reason, I just shouted. I changed tack, and I started saying, he is not a waiter. He is not a waiter. Which sounded a bit odd.
yes.
Well, I was,
He is a free man.
at one point, I said, he is a guest.
Oh, that's great.
Good.
I love being verbally defined as I walk across the room.
I was shouting, he is a guest, as he walked across the room.
I can see the mistake, though, that this could have occurred.
I mean,
Yeah.
there was one point, the final man, there was a man in some sort of gold lame jumpsuit who followed me and Adam to the bitter end. He would not give up. He wouldn't, even he's a guest, didn't put him off. And eventually we had to sort of say to him, I had to take him and say, this is our food. We've waited a long time to get it. He was still trying to grab it.
Oh, wow.
So don't wear black. Okay.
No.
At a party, if you're going to be carrying a tray of pulled pork and pasta across the room.
Yeah, but who'd know that in advance? That's where this all falls down as advice.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Pierre Novellie. You can text the show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio. And you know what? You can also email the show via frank@absoluteradio.co.uk, and that's free.
Yeah. Okay.
Outside...
We've had a few.
Okay.
Outside.
World tweets, we've had a few. But not too few to mention, I
Do you know
hope.
that puts me off people a bit?
What?
When their song... I mean, it's late to be put off them, but if they choose as, let's call it their final song, My Way.
I told you my way
It's a bit
embarrassment,
naff, isn't
didn't
it?
I? When an ex-girlfriend and I went to see Robbie Williams live at some big arena gig, and he sang My Way, and I said to her, come on. I love Robbie, he's got a great voice, but he can't be doing My Way, that's ridiculous. And at the end he said, I'd like to dedicate that to Frank Skinner, that was in the audience tonight.
I bet you felt such a git.
I felt a git beyond git.
Did you?
Post-git.
Oh, I
Git plus.
like Beyond Git. Could that be your new autobiography?
No, I don't think I've ever truly got beyond it. Yes. So, und, as they say in Germany.
Well, speaking of trick-or-treating and your new burden, Frank.
I thought you were going to say your new bird. I thought it was going to be a bit 90s. No. I was going to say, can't say that.
The bowl of sweets by the front door.
Are they still there?
Well, some of them are. I've eaten most of them. It's like the holy water bowl when you go in and out of church.
Have you got any of the lipsticks?
What are they?
I said grandfather clock ticking.
Sorry, I was just kicking the lower section of my stool. Listen.
I don't do that. Yeah, it does
lend
not great.
a drawing room atmosphere to the
It sounds.
radio show.
I like that.
God, it sounds like someone's about to say, "Come."
Pierre always performs in a velvet jacket, of course, and if you're aware of that.
It's the sort of noise you'd expect.
Oh, he collects the bits. Yeah.
I think it's the sort of noise you'd expect to hear in the drawing room of the gentleman who said to my father, "Fellow noticed me things."
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, so
I
helpful.
do apologise. Well, Pierre was talking and I interrupted.
Well, as a sweet aficionado, Frank, did you see the news that there will be this Christmas no bounties in the celebrations?
Oh,
Well,
yes.
I'll tell you something about this, is that there was a lot of bounties in the trick-or-treat this year. When I walk past that bowl, it's like walking past a 1980s version of The Body Shop. The smell of coconut coming from it. And yeah, so, and I had a bounty out of the bowl, and it was, you know, when...
Frank, that's still really annoying
I'm
you.
sorry, I don't know where to put my feet.
Yeah, but don't, you've got some Dave Allen affair going on around there.
Yeah, anyway. So, I forgot what I was saying now.
You were talking about the bounty.
Oh, yeah,
how
so
the
I had
smell
a
of
bounty out of the trick-or-treat bowl. And you know when chocolate, I believe the term is oxidizes. It's got that.
It's not got the white bits.
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone sort of grey on the outside. So that is, I think, someone has had those, well, let's get rid of those bounties. So I did wonder then, is if there's an anti-bounty thing. But I was shocked. I mean, everyone's saying, well, you know, this is just a publicity stunt and everyone's talking about it and that's great for them. Yeah. But I mean, like, celebrations need advertising. And also my advertising for them is I shall never buy celebrations again. And I urge you all to join me in that boycott. Because I think it was Mark Twain who said, whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to pause and reflect. And this idea that people don't like, who are these people who don't like Bounty.
Well, they're saying it's young people.
Oh.
So it's now. I mean,
There's another 7 flavours they can have.
but it's now got to the stage.
What about Grandma?
I'll be all right. It's now got to the stage.
Yes.
You can't even dig your hand in for a chocolate treat without someone saying, "Okay, boomer," just because of the chocolate you
is that
chose.
right? Oh,
That's what they say
wow.
to us, Frank.
I think it's the worst. If it is a marketing trick, which it obviously is, it's the worst marketing decision since we were introduced to the man behind the Go Compare opera singer, and he is now in the advert. What we want to see behind the scenes of the Go Compare man. No, we don't want the making of Go Compare. Thanks very much.
It's apocalypse now.
Oh, it's the worst idea.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We're talking about the bounty, Frank,
Yes.
and they are saying 39% of people wanted them banished. Hence the trial removal. I don't like the trial. They keep referring to it as the trial, like some sinister Kafka experiment.
Can I remind you when 48% of people wanted to remain in the EU?
Yeah.
Of course that didn't happen because 52... In other words, 52% of the people who voted wanted to leave. That was that. 39%. When did that win? What is it?
Well, exactly.
GCSEs? I think 40% is surpassed. I didn't even make a GCSE pass. CSE grade 2 is what 39% is. And now they're going to act on that by removing the bounty. I'm
I say-
unhappy about it. I like bounties.
Justice for the 60%, Frank.
I'm a fan of bounties, I have to
Yes.
say.
Are you? Okay, boomer.
Yeah.
Frank,
I
that's
don't
good
like
news. That's good news that Pierre likes the bounty.
I'm a man out of time.
Look, first they came for the lime barrels and I did not speak out. And now it's the bounties.
I tried to, as this will come as no surprise to you, Frank, having spent so much time in a car with me, I immediately researched the bounty.
Of course you did. Did you come across the verb, or is it an adjective, enrobed?
That is absolutely what I was about to bring up.
Yes.
So, hang on, what? So the chocolate casing, do they use the term enrobe?
I've seen it used for other bars.
Really?
Enrobement is a chocolatey jargon.
It's quite papal.
Enrobed.
It's quite
is.
papal.
I was going to say that they're an inch away from saying it has chocolate raiment.
It is, yeah. I wish they'd said that. There are a whole host of words in the chocolate world I've never really... You know, when you read the menu on a box of chocolates, I've always thought, how safe do you have to be in life to read the menu of a box? Just have a chocolate. If you don't like it, spit it out.
How wrong can
People
it
saying,
go?
oh, I'm not sure. And it's still funny. We don't know what they are anyway. Oh, yeah, I'm making a decision based on it being Montélimar. What is it? What is that?
I've never
What's
been...
praline?
That's
Ganache.
why,
Fondant.
that's why I favour the
Foreign.
roses.
Oh,
I know they're a bit 1970s pensioner, but hear me out, because I think
that's my catchment area.
I find them more descriptive. That's where you get Golden Barrel and such like. And Hazelnut Swirl and things like that.
But
Brazilian Darkness they
They
have as well.
ditched my favourite as well.
Did they? What was your favourite?
Which was the purple one that had like it's a big, it's purple wrapper, and it had inside it had a texture on the surface of the. It wasn't enrobed. It was. It's
have
like
one
a
large
shell,
knot?
and it had a knot in it.
That made me sick. How can you? Why would you want to come across that?
Look, there are some people in my life, and I thought of this when I was at Comic-Con. We're outsiders. We don't follow the herd. We have individual tastes. And the idea that that be eradicated, in an age where we celebrate difference, the bounty is going to be removed because 39% don't like it. Everything is wrong about it. Like I say, I will never buy these again. And
Never buy these again.
I won't. This is it for me. And some of the ones that's got through, like Twix remains, Bounty goes, and Twix. It's a biscuit. It's a biscuit.
What
posing.
about Malteser teaser? That makes me ill.
I don't mind the Malteser.
No,
teaser.
it's Malteser tea. What? Do you understand what that is?
Yes.
Okay.
I know my way.
Strangest argument we've ever had.
I know my way around the celebrations. I like a Maltese. I don't mind the Twix. You know, I don't mind the Twix. I think the Twix is rubbish. Basically,
I agree.
I think it's deliberate. It's giving two fingers to the public in a very real way.
Snickers.
But my view. All right, but what I don't think, there's 8 varieties. So when I get them, I think, well, I won't have those. I'll have these. I don't like those. So I want those to not be in the box anymore because I don't like them. What kind of attitude is that?
Yeah. Bit gittish, maybe.
I mean, look at the TV ratings. Look at how many good programmes are in the top 10. And then look back at the 39% and think again.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
The celebrations font,
Yes.
I thought, perhaps erroneously, I thought that it was made up of sections of the font from its constituent bars.
Oh.
In which case, if they exclude Bounty...
What? So you mean with the lettering, it's a little bit of galaxy in my life?
I think there's like a letter R from the Mars bar or stuff like that.
I think that's right.
Is that right?
So if they get rid of Bounty, it'll have to be Celebrations
Well, if they're not... Well,
with the G from Galaxy.
yeah. In fact, the end might have to... It's going to be, by the end, perilously close to Celeriac. Who's going to buy that? Celeriac, anyone? Ooh, not very Christmas, is it? No, I think that... I mean, correct me. Someone out there, our listeners, our readers, as I like to call them, know basically everything between them. But I've always looked, because the font doesn't make any sense unless it's a composite. Do you know what I mean? It's all over the place,
Yes.
the font.
So it must be, if there are any experts in code ecology listening.
I'm always quite disappointed when the celebrations come out. In general, really.
Oh, yeah?
But I find, I just always feel when that tub comes out, couldn't you go a Heroes? I mean, they're out of the 4, really. I'd say they're the
What
most...
are the 4?
Well, the big 4.
Yeah.
But I know about this, thanks. Safari.
Miniature
Big 5.
Heroes, celebrations.
Heroes, Quality Street,
Yeah.
Roses, Celebrations.
Yeah.
That's what I would go. That would be my big 4.
Okay.
I think that's right.
Would you agree with that?
I'd sort of
I can't
forgotten.
think of any others.
I'd
yeah.
What have you
forgotten
forgotten?
about Roses and Quality Street, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Oh, you've
I wasn't
checked.
even sure they still existed.
Yes, how dare you? Lovely purple tin.
Steve Burgess tweets in, enjoying this scrutiny on the Bounty.
Oh, very, very fine work.
Really excellent.
I used to live around the corner from the grave of Captain Bligh, who was the captain of the Bounty.
Yes.
Yeah, he was... See, he was a guy, like the Tamagotchi, known only for death. He was only known for losing authority.
Yes.
Where
gotta
was
live
this?
with
Is
that.
it in the South Seas?
No, it was Lambeth.
Okay.
It's actually in the graveyard of the Gardner Museum, which is immediately next to Lambeth Palace.
Lovely.
Quite a few Manxmen on board the Bounty who mutinied. One of them they caught because he had a Manx 3 legs tattooed on
That's
Oh.
not people from Manchester.
No,
it's
M-A-N-X.
People who
yeah.
don't have tails.
Yes.
Yes, many of you will know that Pierre is, definitely good. But he spent a lot of his childhood in the Isle of Man.
Yes.
So he loves a Manx reference.
He's
Yes.
very well travelled.
Both places. Those are the 2 places.
Yeah.
It's a great combo. I'd like to know what your average psychoanalyst would make of those 2 places as,
What do
as
you
growing
think?
up. Well, I don't know. I'll let you know. This is not something I want to rush into.
Frank Skinner.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
So, we're discussing all sorts of things this morning, Frank. Bit of Bounty.
Mm-hmm.
Nordic walking sticks, remember them?
Oh, yes, of course. There's sort of what I thought was ski sticks that one sees people walking on dry land with. Yeah, is there any news on those? Any updates?
We've had a few. I mean, someone used them. I'm just deciding whether it's okay to. Someone used them in a sort of vigilante capacity.
Okay, I don't know if we generally.
I don't know if we should generally, but it was
celebrate
all
vigilante
I will say,
law.
I won't go into it because we obviously Absolute Radio does not endorse any of that kind of behaviour.
It's a very fine line, isn't it, between vigilante and have a go hero?
But I would say this came into
have a go heroes. That'd be a good chocolate selection. See, no one says about have a go heroes. They died like they do about Tamagotchis. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
They should market those especially.
Ooh,
have a go, heroes.
You want to have a go hero? Oh, I wouldn't mind one of those.
It's a slightly riskier selection.
Oh, have you got the approaches hooded youths after dark? That's my favourite tweet.
Well, that's essentially what happened here with an elderly man.
Okay.
And let's just say he came out victorious.
Well, because of his ski sticks.
And we'll just say, I mean, no one was sort of harmed beyond repair.
No.
But I think they got a fright, those lads. And let's just say Juliet says Nordic walking sticks rock.
Yeah.
For that reason.
Well, that's they're taking on a sort of sword stick feel, it seems to me. It's all going to be adamant.
Marianne from Staffordshire. That's where you're from, near Frank.
I used to be, because West Bromwich used to be in Staffordshire, and then it suddenly was in the West Midlands when they changed all the boundaries.
Okay.
I didn't feel a moment of movement.
Did you not?
No.
Okay. Hello, Frank, Emily and Pierre. When I first met my husband, his Lambretta was our only mode of transport.
Romantic.
Isn't it?
Who was her husband? Phil Daniels? Yeah, that's nice, though.
Other scooter drivers would always wave. Bikers, I'm afraid, would usually use a hand signal.
Yeah, I bet.
Okay. I've always driven a proper Mini. Marianne's put that in
Does she mean the original Mini?
Quite rare now.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I had for a while, Frank, you remember.
What you want is a racing green.
But other Mini drivers wave or flash lights. We'd often do that to each other, yes.
I love it. I think it's a really sweet thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to find something I have in common with. If only gits were instantly recognisable. But maybe we can work on that with some sort of headdress.
Frank Skinner. Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Mig has got in touch. We've been talking this morning.
Mick?
No, Mig.
Oh,
M-I-G.
Mig.
We've been talking. That was a member of Curiosity called the Cat. Was called Mig. Only other Mig I've ever
Killed
heard
the
of.
cat, I think.
Oh, did I? What did I say? Cured.
Called. I think.
I'm sorry.
Curiosity called
Cool.
the cat. Hello?
Mig says.
Hello, this is Curiosity. Who? How did you get my number? Is that the cat? Never mind. How did you get this? Go on.
Oh dear.
Slightly haughty cat. They are haughty.
Yeah.
They're very haughty, but I like that about them.
Yeah.
Mig says, didn't the RAC salute other RAC members when driving past? Was that traditionally? That was something I'd heard of as well.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, that's nice. I hope they do that. One associates the AA with niceness, turns out. Because remember, it was a very nice man when the AA bloke came. Do you remember that? You're looking at me like, I know, he's gone. It's finally happened.
Yeah. People are saying, Ruth Jordan, one of our regulars, the bounty goes, but the Twix remains. It's a biscuit, a cry of injustice that will live with me forever.
Indeed, exactly. Also, I've noticed, and this is something I hate, I wish major iconic companies wouldn't amalgamate with other companies. So you get names like, this is now Mars Wrigley.
Oh,
I don't like that.
If you're going to do that, you've got to be called the Mars Wrigley Bar from now on, as far as I'm. So people thinking, not sure about the new Mars Wrigley Bar. It's got a bit like a chewing gum element, bit spearmint.
chewy mint in there.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. Although the next time I stay in a hotel incognito, I will call myself Mars Wrigley III.
I was going to say, Mars Wrigley is the sort of name that the grandchild of the Wrigley dynasty.
Exactly.
Would
You
have.
don't get thirds and that anymore, do you? They've seemed to have gone.
No.
There's Loudon Wainwright III, the singer.
It's very American, the third.
Yeah, and
Oh, it really is.
Very strange.
what was the
Junior.
George Hamilton IV was the
Yeah.
country and westerns. They're all singers.
It's normally troubled billionaires
Is
who
it?
favour the first, second, third.
If
Because
anyone-
it takes 3 generations, I believe, or is it 2 to lose a fortune?
3.
Just bear in mind, everyone.
Oh,
Is
okay.
it 3, yeah.
As we near the end of the show, for next week, if anyone can think of any current numbered individuals, any of the seconds or the third, I don't mean like Charles the
No.
Third. I mean with surname and then like Loudon Wainwright the Third. It feels like it's died out.
Because they do have, sometimes the alternative is the junior, the Robert Downey approach,
well,
we prefer first,
We
second,
talked
third.
about juniors the other week, and there's more of those, but the thirds and stuff, they are.
Can I say, Frank, finally, acknowledging each other, Kev says football fans whose teams have been managed by Steve Bruce.
Oh, yes, I can understand what that acknowledgement would be. That's like when you pass someone in a hospital ward. Okay. God bless him. I'm sure he's a smashing chap. But I never want to see him at the Albion. Ever.
Okay.
Ever. Again. Anyway, look, if the good Lord spares us, if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.